I live in Sausalito, have since family moved here in 1965, so you can see a lot of you. I think I see a lot of you when I walk my dog along the waterfront. So.
And as a county supervisor, how do you represent us?
So, I'm the one you get to complain to about all sorts of different things. A little bit different, you know, mostly the county, I'm sort of direct governance for those areas in southern Marin. I'm just south of the Cordillera Hill. So I'm direct governance for places like Tam Valley and Marin City that don't have a city council. You here obviously have a city council. In addition to being a county supervisor, I'm also on RBRA, I'm on BCDC and other SMART, Marin Energy Authority, other boards and commissions that affect your life in some way or another. So I'm someone that you can come to once Herbie doesn't do things that you think he should. No, I'm kidding.
She's the one that...
She's the one who can get things done.
Well, I try, but we all try. We all try.
My name's Herb Weiner. I'm the mayor of Sausalito. Some of you don't remember me, but I think I know a lot of these faces. I had the Shell station for 33 years down at the north end of town.
First job in this town.
I remember you chilling.
Well, anyway, look, we want to now look to see what's going on out there, and I'm also on the Richardson Bay RBRA, and Kate this year, Kate Sears, your supervisor, is the chairperson. And Sausalito was the most affected ones in the area, even though you have Mill Valley. I think whether they have one little dock, and Tiburon and Belvedere, the only time you hear from them is when one of the boats crashes up against the rocks. So the idea is we really want to listen to you. First of all, can I have a show of hands of people that would like to speak today? Okay. We might vary it on time if time's running out, but we want to get you all, the ones that do want to speak, we want to hear what you have to say. I'm gonna...
But also, if you could keep it pretty short, just for your initial statements, and then we may want to have a follow-up conversation, because I want to make sure that everybody who wants to speak gets an opportunity to speak. So if we could stick to like a minute, 2 minutes, something like that, that'd be great.
Why don't we just get right into it?
Let's go.
My name's Louis Tenwinkle, and I think that this is great. We're getting to talk to the folks that are trying to run our lives. This has been going on for a long time. There's been no real person between us and them, and we really can't be, because we can't sit on them because it would be illegal because they're government. So maybe we could have somebody sit on it, a liaison, an advocate, and a consultant. And what I mean by that is this person would be a go-between Bill, the police, the RBRA. And this means, you know, this person also would like to have, I'd like to have him have a boat, and he can hang out during storms and be there to deal with all the problems instead of come a couple days later and clean up the mess on the beach, and helping anybody who needs it. If they have problems anchoring up because nobody really has a big powered boat they can set an anchor with, this would be a good person to do it. I know there's a lot of legal problems with all this, but hey, anybody who does this is going to have to know what they're doing. And last, but using all the stuff that gets thrown away, if we recycle that and recycle the boats and give people better boats, higher chance that the boat's not going to go up on the beach or something. And all the gear. That's it. Louis. This is the thought.
It seemed to me in the last series of storms, okay, that there were a series of boats that hit the rocks. Okay, I would say maybe 10 of them. Okay, I saw them get impounded, get taken away by bill prices, impounded by Sausalito. Okay, and taken away over to Matt Butler's in Sausalito. One of my dear friends has one of those boats still sitting there. Okay, I've seen boats taken over there and be crushed. Okay, I've seen those impounded boats be crushed after that storm within 72 hours. Those people lost their homes. Their homes. Okay, seriously, they lost their homes. And how does Bill Price or the RBRA, or the Sausalito, or anybody, have the right, okay, in a storm, okay, that has affected 10 to 15 boats that have washed along shore. If there were 10 to 15 homes in Sausalito that washed down a hill, the Red Cross, everybody else would be a national disaster area. You understand me? Okay, and so on that basis, what was based on us? Did we see the Red Cross? Did we see your help? No. We got impounded. No, excuse me. We got impounded. We got crushed.
This is not an attacking moment.
Excuse me, it's not an attacking moment.
saw one of your boats take a boat out.
It's
All
okay.
right.
We want to hear this.
Good deal. So this is what I'm saying is that, what are you doing for those people who lost their homes, that got their boats crushed, and everything disappeared? Because actually, my buddy's boat went over there to Matt Butler's place that got impounded by Bill Price, which was at the Army Corps place, okay, for less than 17 hours. Somebody else besides Bill Price anchored that boat over there because it was supposed to be a safe place to stay. 72 hours, correct? No, within that 72 hours, that gentleman lost a 65-foot barge over at Matt Butler's, okay, that now has been redone and done and resold without even having this gentleman known and put in the place where Matt Butler kicked him out of the harbor. The boat's been resold. How do they do the paperwork? Who's doing the paperwork there to sell that impounded boat?
We're here to listen to you that never seems to be heard, all right? That's the purpose.
Where's the recycling going from all the boats that got crushed?
Okay,
I'll go ahead and talk.
Good question.
Thank you. Come right in the middle here.
I haven't been addressing the RBRA, and I know you guys are part of it, so, and that seems to be the subject, part of the topic now, and they're always going to be part of the topic, whether this is RBRA meeting or not. So, I haven't addressed the RBRA like I used to 3 years ago, because I've just had a general understanding with Bill Price. And Bill Price has been running an illegal boat crushing operation funded by the RBRA. The RBRA has been well aware of it. And you just seem to ignore it, or it's actually to your benefit, or it's to somebody's benefit, and we know it's all to Bill's benefit. And maybe the time has come when we need to put an end to that. We see a lot of treasure going out the window. Some of it ours, some of it from who knows where. Bill will run out and bring boats in. We sell him boats. We're not doing anything wrong by selling Bill a boat. It's part of the process. Bill has a quota. His quota right now is around 50 boats. You know that? You're on the RBRA. The RBRA wanted Bill to crush 80 boats a year. He said no, he couldn't do it. The legal cost would be too high. So maybe it comes a time when that's a major issue, and we need to put that on the table before we know what's going to be happening with the mooring field, when all this stuff. We need to know who's going to be running this mooring field. Is it going to be Bill Price running things the way he's been running things, or maybe some of us can have an impact on how this mooring field is set up, how it's run, and maybe some of the treasure that's been going into Bill Price's pocket, or thrown out the garbage, or to wherever, can be used to pay for the maintenance of these mooring fields and showers.
Maybe some people should get their boats back. Maybe some people should get their boats back.
I have gone up and down this California coastline with my husband over 1,000 sea miles, and this is the first harbor that we have ever came into, and there are no safe public docks. The docks are falling apart. There's not enough dinghy dock space. There's not enough showers. And to be quite honest, how the hell is somebody supposed to get a job if they stink and reek and are filthy? That's all I have to say.
Are there supposed to be showers, or how many showers are there?
There are none.
There are no showers.
No shower access, zero.
Accused of getting kicked off the docks if they get people on the showers.
Ritter Center expressed interest a couple of years ago in running showers down here. At that time, we were told that showers would attract homeless people.
You want to say something? Yes.
Are you familiar with the charter and government called Maritime Historical Commercial Restoration, and then boatyard is supposed to be their thing? The mistake in the charter was if there was any extra berth that they put houseboaters in and actually give them a boat in the running of the place. Now it's such a self-centered bedroom community, though my boat's been chartered since it was commissioned 101 years ago. Many articles about, including an article on Wooden Boat, and many notable people, including Yerke, the first man in space, and Neil, the first man on the moon, have been on my boat. They refused my application.
Sausalito spent a bunch of money on this new Marine boat, Marine 1 or whatever. It's run by Sergeant Frass. Well, it's a farce. I've been given 3 tickets by that sergeant, which is the Marine's unit supervisor. I've been harassed, chased, and given 3 tickets, not one stuck. The DA looked at every one of those and threw it out before I even went to court. So your big Marine unit supervisor is a joke.
Needs to be looked at.
Let me break.
You don't need the sheriffs, the Sausalito, I mean, come on.
Look.
Can we live?
After this meeting, what I might go ahead and do is bring down and have another meeting with the chief of police of Sausalito.
Yeah.
Her and myself, and we want to listen to you again on some of these issues and be, you know, I've heard that there's, it's pick and choose out there, and we don't think that's fair. In other words, all of a sudden, the Yankabouts are being picked on, but why aren't the others?
I don't know, do they have a whistle?
Nobody should be picked on, period.
And I agree with it, but that was, so just so you know, and we spoke about this yesterday.
There's, we all know, there's a big difference between the Sausalito police and what the sheriff does. There's a big difference in attitude, but also the way they approach certain problems. And we need to get both of those together.
Yeah, the Coast Guard.
Well, I can do it with the chief of the chief, and Kate can do it with the sheriff.
I'd like to go on record as saying I am completely against any type of mooring field or any other Agenda 21 based initiative. Any of you who don't know what Agenda 21 is, you're not listening to enough radio.
We are not criminals. We all have our issues, but we are not criminals. We are not needed to be ID'd every time we go across the channel to our homes.
In fact, none
We
of
are
us
not
know.
needed to be cited by the Sausalito Police Department and the Coast Guard and the Sheriff's Department every time we make a move from land to our boat or from boat to land. This is an atrocity. I am not here trying to attack the City Council. I'm here trying to make a simple point.
Sausalito has a police department that is on the payroll of Sausalito. The police department has been operating outside of the scope of their jurisdictive ability, using this special federal rule, which is the same rule that the city of Riviera Beach, Florida used against Mr. Lozman and took his home from him, like has been addressed here. And the result of was a lawsuit against the city. The federal court admonished the city for their utilization of a special rule for a special purpose usage. It's not meant to be used like that. It's a uniform body of law, and it only applies if there's an interstate or international commercial venture. Then we have the definition of 1 U.S.C. 3. However, when we misuse this, it cuts out what we call due process of law. Due process of law is something that's guaranteed by our Constitution, that we will have a certain format we will follow. And in among that format is the first 1 U.S.C. 3. The definition of a vessel. The police officers are saying this is a vessel, therefore I have the right to board you, I have the right to inspect your vessel, but a person rowing a boat to shore is not on an interstate or international commercial venture. It's simply understood. A person floating in their home is not on an interstate or international venture.
There you go, man.
So effectively, my question is, what is the city of Sausalito, the county of Marin, who's having the sheriff's using the same rule as well, intentions? Are we going to continue in a manner that is consistent with put the city of Riviera Beach, Florida in a position of lawsuit? Thank you.
Excellent, President.
Just so you know, we represent you. That's our job here. We don't, we want to make it easier for you, not more difficult.
My name's Jim Sontag. I've only been here for a week. I'd like to thank y'all for the lesson in civics and legal issues. Those weren't my concerns at all. Although when I got here, I was really surprised about the ability of people to live in the harbor on the boats and the seemingly enlightened nature of Sausalito and having boats come around that would pump you out. It seems to me this is in everybody's best interest, much like the showers would be, by the way. But my only thing, I heard about this meeting, and the only thing I really wanted to do was to come here and say that John Steinbeck wrote Cannery Road. There's very few places like this left in the world today where the steam from a society that's boiling at 213 degrees can come up, can be let up. This is one of those places. This is a treasure. And the fact that it still exists in Sausalito when you've been told, oh no, it's gone, it's gone. That makes it even more of a treasure.
Everybody knows me as Nitai. I'm Neil, Marin, my wife Marvick, and our little baby is here. We have 3 children. Normally we live anchored out. Right now we're in the harbor for repairs, and we should be out there again next month. I've been anchored out since 1991, and it's a wonderful situation here in Sausalito as far as that we have good weather, good holding ground in the mud. My wife and I have rowed back and forth for years, and we would like showers. Otherwise, we have to be a member of a yacht club for $500 a year to have that privilege. And we'd love it if there was another way that we could do it. Thanks very much.
My name is Richard Dreamweaver. I'm a local artist here in Sausalito. I live on a boat offshore. When I'm on shore, I don't do any art. I hang out. A lot of people know me. But I have this art on my boat, and I demand that the city buy my art for $5,000 per canvas, because that's the way that the city seems to operate. And I understand that on demand. So I'll be bringing my artwork to the next meeting when you bring the chief of police, and I'll expect the $5,000 per canvas.
You know, I like to say that this is as quiet as everybody's been.
Exactly what I was thinking.
I like your canvases.
I'd like to speak on one point.
I really want to go to different people, and then we'll go back, if that's okay.
I don't think this gentleman.
My name is Craig Wilson. I'm a professional mariner. Most people here know me. Everybody here is pretty much responsible. We care about the water we're on and what goes on. I personally remove sunken vessels here for free. I remove boats off the beach for free until I was stopped by the RVRA because it interfered with people's enterprise. But what I came to speak on today is most cities and everything have, everybody out there has a generator or an outboard. New 4-stroke outboards are all in effect now whenever they go to. We have no place to take toxic waste here to get rid of it. Bill Price has toxic waste, i.e. batteries, oil, fuel, everything else. Some of these boats are made into houseboats, have fuel on board and stuff we'd like to get off so that it doesn't become a hazard at a later date. Or where you don't have oil buildup on board and stuff that creates a problem at a later date or gets in the water. Everybody's here friendly with the water. I mean, we depend on it to live.
So there's been no provisions for you to be able to...
There is no place to take off oil or trash or any hazardous materials.
Anytime we let an engine sit for over a month, we wind up with destabilized gasoline that we need to get rid of.
He's never set up... When I say he, and Bill, I should never say...
They have a pickup for themselves at the Army Corps, but we're not allowed to take stuff in and drop it off to them, even on Saturdays.
Really? The Sausalito Police and the Coast Guard also will ticket and cite the boats for having these products on your deck.
And under the rules of the RBRA, as new marinas come into effect, they're required to have a dinghy dock. But the old marinas, when they put in changes for dockage and change ownership and stuff, there's no provision made for those marinas to allow any kind of public access. Thank you.
We hear you. We're writing this down. Some of these we're not going to be able to answer to you now, but we're going to take these in and try to attempt to get the answer for you.
Point out.
By the way, you talked, we've been hearing all about police matters, and whether it's sheriff or Sausalito PD.
Continual harassment that's going on, it really fatigues us down.
I see it's kind of like, you know, how you approach your officers. Do you guys approach them with aggression, or do you approach them being kindly? Because I notice you get much further with kindness.
Yeah.
No matter what attitude they, no, see.
We treat them how they treat us.
They come to
generally.
my boat, they wave and they say, how are you doing today? What's your next project? I got my stuff registered, my shit's legal, I don't get problems.
Legal.
Are you a known felon? Are you an ex-convict? You're not.
Actually, sir, I used to run a whorehouse and I used to be a junkie.
Hey, look, I'm telling you, the most important thing,
Don't turn us against ourselves. Don't turn us against ourselves.
I'm not turning against you.
You were right there.
I don't mean to say you people. The most important thing that you have to do, and you see the amount of people that are here, is you people have to stick together. Now's the time to set up something where you meet, you have a representative, and you have a communication going back and forth. You have the opportunity, if you stick together, that you can make something, and you have a body right now that's willing to listen.
Yeah.
And take advantage of that, because it might not always be here like that.
So here's what you gotta do, you people over there on that side of the desk. Is there some currency right here that you can drop on the counter and show you're for real? How hard would it be to get a shower by the next time we meet? I can do plumbing, I can do electrical, I can build you something for free. If you want a shower, it shouldn't be that hard to do.
Amen.
Bureaucracy and everything else. This is just some hot water coming out of a thing that's higher than your head. I'm 6'4".
I personally am gonna look at, we as a city, like the restrooms that we build, we have a process, unfortunately, that we just can't say, okay, just throw up the showers. We have a process.
There's one going downtown that's worth about $500,000.
Hey, let him speak.
I can only give you my opinion, but.
But you're the mayor, we voted for you. I'm sorry.
Now it's starting to sound like a
Hey, I can only give you my thought on what I've learned in government. Government has taught me about process and transparency. And that's okay. But nowhere in the line does it really teach you about results. And I come from the business world. And in the business world, it's all about results. So we're here to try to make this work where we can go through the process, you can get your transparency, and we'll get you the results. But we're gonna do it in that way.
Hundreds of sailors come through here every year, all the way up to, from Alaska, Canada on down. Right. It's a migration that goes on every year. And you might have noticed there's 200 boats out there at least between October, say, to December. And I've been one of them. I just got back from Guatemala, and I'm anchored out right now until I find a slip. But these people love Sausalito. It's everyone's favorite place. But then we'll say the same thing. Why aren't there any showers like Morro Bay and Half Moon Bay and all these places? You put in a quarter, you get a shower, 50 cents, a little longer shower. Works great. There's no problems. And there's really a lot more, sailor-friendly ports. So I've experienced a lot of what I'm hearing here, but not quite so much because I work on yachts, so I get a little bit of cachet from that. And I spend all my money here. Anyway, I love this sport, and I'm really impressed that you're listening. Thank you.
Yeah, I'd like to back that up. I'm a sailor, I'm a cruiser, I anchor out, but, there's no conflict with me for space where the other anchor outs are in the mud, so the sailors that come and go, we're not going to go anchor where they're at. We've got to be out there where it's deep enough. And you want to bring in business with the America's Cup, you want to bring in racers and cruisers, and, well, they need a shower. They want to take a shower on the weekend, and the anchor outs here want to take a shower before the weekend. There's no conflict with that. But if you want to bring this business in, you need to provide a shower and you need to provide dinghy docks for these cruising sailors that I'm talking about. Not just what this man's mentioned, which is a yearly migration, but the America's Cup and all that business you want to bring in with that.
we want you to try to live like human beings, that's what we do.
And that takes a shower.
Thank you so very much, and it's really, I'm so glad you're listening to us.
It would be wonderful to do something.
Thanks. Anything in harmony, everything is possible.
This is the man that carves the totem poles.
And it says in harmony, everything is possible.
Amen.
I probably wouldn't have gotten involved, but I sure am glad I did. This meeting has been just terrific. And I think we've got some government here that is going to work with us. The elected part of the government really does work most of the time. And there's a little group of people here, though, that are not anchor outs, that really want to do a 501c4, which is
Business.
a social slumlord kind of a thing, where they set up a nonprofit, get contributions, make a salary, and tell people what to do. I think the best that we've heard today comes out of the people that live in the neighborhood. The representation should be people that live on the hook. People in the neighborhood know the problems, like John with the speed zone and so forth, and all these other problems. And it's different for people that live in a marina. These people, Doug and so forth, they don't live on the hook and they don't get it. And so we need to do our own work, do our own representation, raise our own money if we need it, but certainly talk directly and not through a filter to the government that really we do know can work.
I saw the first RBRA meeting, and what the RBRA started as and what they are now. I bet
Whole different ball of
really nice
wax.
to ask you what is your mantra that you go to? I mean, what's the mission? Because when they started, when the RBRA started, I went to the first meetings, and Supervisor Al Rambrew, and all it was he was pushing this building project through, and that's how he did it. He did it through gaining the RBRA. Everybody was in the visual corridor that was off Strawberry of his development, and you gotta go. And his natural attrition was 90 days. When he said natural attrition, everybody clapped, went, yay, far out, natural attrition. And then then 2 weeks later, it's 90 days. So that's the way we've been treated.